Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. I talked yesterday about a few things that I want to touch base on again. Here I am back in my cave, trying something a little bit different today. Yesterday, I did some recording on my phone, and the audio quality wasn't the greatest. So I'm going to try something from my computer today, and see if maybe that makes a bit of a difference. So yesterday we talked about internal versus external. And I guess the gist of the conversation is that external things might have influence on you, but it is your internal reaction to them that determines your course. In the course of that, I talked about some things that I was having some challenges with. I talked about how I struggle with my relationship with alcohol, how I struggle with my relationship with my family, and how I struggle with my relationship with myself. And I really wanted to touch back on that because my relationship with alcohol is one that's kind of defined the last 30 plus years. Like many of you, I grew up in a family and a household where liquor was never the intention, but it was never far behind. We had beer and wine on special occasions. You had a drink to celebrate. You had a drink to be social. It was just part of life growing up in the 1970s and 1980s. And I was never, during that time, I mean, during my school formative years, while I did, on occasion, go and party with my friends and have a few drinks while I was underage, I wouldn't consider myself a drinker at that point. It wasn't until I had graduated high school, I'd taken a year off, and decided to go back to school, to college, and in that time period tried to finance my way through college by working, and I was working in bars. And that's when I went from the amateur drinking league to the pro drinking league. I really spent a few years far too deep in a bottle, and at the end of that time, I would definitely have characterized myself as addicted to alcohol. And since that time, I've always had this, not always, I've tried to keep my relationship with alcohol one that has some distance. I haven't always been successful. Thankfully, in the last few years, I have been. I like to say that I didn't quit drinking, I just quit drinking all the time. I applaud anybody who decides to make that choice to be sober and always sober and not do drugs of any kind, including alcohol. But I also recognize that everyone is an individual and walks their own path, and my particular path doesn't include denying myself the opportunity to do the things that are within my control and things that I enjoy. I just want to say that everybody does have a different path. Everyone is an individual, and just because something is right for you does not mean it's right for everybody. I ended part of my video yesterday with saying that I don't think that every person can help every other person, and that's because everyone has a different experience. I was quite gratified to be listening to a Quirks and Quarks podcast, and apparently there is an American university that's done a study that has concluded that there is no such thing as common sense. There is no one group of knowledge that is common to everyone on the planet, and that's because geographically, experientially, we all have different lives. We all live in our own head, and we bring that individualism to bear in our choices that we make moving forward. And we all are a product of our choices. Every decision that I've made in my past brought me to this moment right now. And that's why I like to say that I don't live my life with regrets. There are things that that didn't feel very nice in the time frame that they occurred, but that doesn't mean I regret them, because those experiences brought me to this point right now, and where I am right now is somewhere I really want to be. I have a loving family. I have a roof over my head. I have loyal clientele that seeks me out for my services. Um, are there things that could be different that could change the experience to one that might satisfy me more? Absolutely. Um, but right now, when we talk about that comparison of where you're comparing yourself to who you used to be, or you're comparing yourself to the world around you to determine whether your idea of who you are is the one that you really hold dear. When I look at those things, I like where I am. I like myself. I love my family. I uh, I think that the struggles that I have are much smaller than the struggles that I have had in the past. I think that the problems that I have, the challenges that I face, aren't as problematic or as challenging as the ones that I faced only 5 years ago and 10 years ago. So, um, a lot of what's going to make that internal journey more satisfying for anybody is to do things intentionally and do things with the idea of practice. Um, Set a goal, an internal goal, and practice every day to reach that goal. You're not going to reach that goal every day. You're not going to achieve exactly what you want in every moment of every day. But the practice of doing it over and over and over will get you closer to your goal. So, be strong, stay positive, uh, find the thing that works for you, that speaks to you, that allows you to express yourself in your most authentic way, and practice that. It doesn't have to be, um, a big fanfare of a horn section and a marching band. It can be just peeking around the corner and saying, okay, this is how much of me I can intentionally bring to the table today, and do that tomorrow and the next day. And eventually, it will be that marching band, that fanfare. And you deserve to be celebrated in that way. So, once again, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the comments below. Send me a message on my socials, because I'm posting these to my socials as well. Um, and uh, and just be kind to one another. I love you all. Goodbye.